In previous videos, I've covered royalties and rights such as performance royalties and mechanical rights, but one of those rights and sets of royalties that I haven't yet spoken about on this channel is Needletime rights, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about in this video. Hey, this is the Englishman of EB English Music, and welcome to another Studio Talk vlog. As mentioned in the prologue, in this video, we're going to be discussing what Needletime rights are. And the difference between Needletime rights and any other kind of royalties like mechanicals and performance, the difference is simply who receives it and who administers it. Now, when it comes to mechanical and performance royalties, those royalties and those rights go to the composers and authors of the song. So the people who write the lyrics and the people who write the music of the song, they are the ones that are entitled to the performance and mechanical royalties. Now, what about those people who perform on the song? They might not necessarily have written the song, but you are the session guitarist, you are the drummer, you are even the beat maker, the backing vocalist, even the lead vocalist. What are you entitled to? And that's your rights. The Needletime rights are entitled to or get administered to the musicians and the vocalists that actually perform on the song in question. And that would be lead or featured or backing vocalist, the guitarist, the pianist, the drummer, the beat maker. If you are the person who has performed in some musical fashion on the song, then you are entitled to Needletime rights, despite whether or not you have written that part that you actually performed. Because a lot of times you have people who come up with the music, the chord progression, and now what they do is they have a more experienced pianist come in and say, I want you to play these chords and I want you to play it in this way. That way, that pianist hasn't written anything, but they are brought in for their skills and how they play their instrument. So they merely performing the part that was written. So for them, they don't get performance or mechanical rights, but they are entitled to Needletime rights. Now, Needletime rights, unlike performance and mechanical royalties where you have one body or one organization that is taking care of performance and mechanical royalties, or Sampra that handles performance royalties and Capasso that handles mechanical rights. When it comes to Needletime rights, things get a little bit tricky because in this instance, there are actually two organizations that handle Needletime rights. Now, can you belong to both? I don't think so, so you're going to have to choose. So the one is Sampra and the other one is Impra. So what is the difference between the two? Because the two organizations do exactly the same. The only difference is that obviously Sampra has their collection of artists and Impra has their collection of artists. Now, why are there two, and is there beef between the two organizations? There certainly was. I don't know if there still is, but there certainly was. So how do you go about choosing which of the two organizations you're going to join? Well, that is completely up to you. I can give you my opinion because the beef between the two organizations, there was an article a few years ago that was written where the one organization accused the other. It said that the one organization said that they have more artists that belong to their body, but the other organization is getting the lion's share of the Needletime rights from broadcasters. So when it comes to Sampra versus Impra, you are going to need to go to their respective websites, do your own research, read up on each of the organizations, and then make a choice from there. Now, I just wanted to take a step back to go back to the definition of Needletime rights, because even here, there seems to be some differences in the definition of Needletime rights. Generally, it's the same as what I mentioned at the beginning of this video, but there seem to be slight differences. So I want to cover each and every aspect of that just so that I can make it clear to you what Needletime rights exactly are. Now, this is the Sampra website. They have this information available on their website where they explain the difference between performance, mechanical, and Needletime rights. Now, I just wanted to focus on what they say on Needletime rights. Now, they say Needletime rights royalties make sure performers and recording artists get paid when their music is played in public. So that is with regards to radio, TV, and live performances. Now, these are the people who were in studio playing the instruments or singing the lyrics when the recording was made. Even if they didn't write the song or lyrics, their talent contributed to the final product. This is what I mentioned in the beginning of the video. So they should get paid anytime the song is played on the radio or anywhere else in public for that matter. Now, this is also another sort of point of contention, because they say in South Africa, Needletime rights are administered by the South African Music Performance Rights Association, Sampra. They make no mention of Impra. So it seems like when it comes to making a choice between the two, Samro has mentioned Sampra but not Impra, so now it makes you think, should I join Sampra? Now, if you go to Sampra's website, they also have an explanation as to what Needletime rights are. What they say is Needletime rights are record labels and recording artists' rights. Needletime rights royalties are royalties paid to recording artists for the public performance of their commercially released recorded performances, and record labels for the public performance of their commercially released sound recordings. So that explanation tells me that it's not only independent artists that can register with Sampra as a record label. If you have one, you can also now register with Sampra. Now let's take a quick look, because I have to balance the equation here. Let's take a quick look at the website for Impra, which is the Independent Music Performance Rights Association. Also, I must make mention that Sampra has gone through quite an extensive sort of social media drive and marketing campaign to make themselves more visible. So when it comes to Needletime rights, people are now thinking automatically of Sampra and not so much about Impra. You might have also seen in recent times on social media the artist the Kiffness that has really taken the SABC to task for lack of paying Needletime rights, and he himself has joined Sampra and figured out that he was owed tens of thousands of rands in Needletime rights. So again, Sampra seems to be out there more in terms of their name, so psychologically you would think as an independent artist, I need to join Sampra. But for me at the channel, I need to remain objective and give you both sides so that you can make your own informed choice. So when we go to Impra's website, the Independent Music Performance Rights Association, then obviously they have different information. But if you go to the About Us tab and go to the background and history of Impra, it says here that Impra is a non-profit organization and a licensor to third parties for collection and distribution of broadcast performing rights in sound recordings. So you yourself can go into detail a lot further when you go to Sampra or Impra's website to make up your own mind as to who you will choose to administer your Needletime rights. But just to conclude, if you are a session musician, a guitarist, drummer, bassist, the beat maker, the backing vocalist, the featured vocalist, the lead vocalist, if you have performed on that song, irrespective of whether or not you wrote the lyrics or the music of that song, if you performed on that track, you are entitled to Needletime rights. And that's it. That's very simple as to what Needletime rights are. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe, give this video a like if it has helped you in some way, and don't forget to click the notification bell so that you don't miss any future videos, and I'll catch you on the next Studio Talk vlog.
Ooh, it's the Englishman.